Welcome, Warwick.
I'm just going to read my audio and put it under recording.
Next is Evanna Lynch, who portrays Lovegood. Next, James Phelps, who portrays Fred Weasley. And of course, James's brother Oliver, who portrays George Weasley. And last but not least, Mr. Tom Felton, who portrays Draco Malfoy. I'm gonna start with Warwick. Warwick, you've now seen 4 Wizarding Worlds come to life across the globe. What did you feel when you walked into this environment for the very first time?
Well, even though I've experienced environments much like this, having worked on the films, for me, coming into the Wizarding World is it's a more magical experience. It's a more immersive experience because, of course, these environments exist in a much more real way. I don't know whether this is my microphone. You can't tell whose it is, can we? Anyway, these environments, they're more immersive because you walk into somewhere like the Three Broomsticks from Hogsmeade, and it exists in reality. Whereas, when you make movies, these locations and sets were quite separate. So for me, that's a delight. There's so much detail here to discover, and things that take us beyond the films and the books as well. There are other stories being told here in the Wizarding World that haven't been told before, all written and supervised by J.K. Rowling herself.
Most of you have been to at least one of the other parks, and I'm wondering, for this park, what did you find was new or interesting or different?
Start down here near the top.
Sure. I don't know. There's definitely something about it. I found myself rather. Sure. The question was asking about what significantly was different here, or what we discovered here that was different from Orlando, etc. Is that right? There's something very cool about having this right in the epicenter of the film world. Warner Brothers Studios only a few miles away, another company that started this whole thing off. So it's pretty amazing, I think, to have that right next to this, to have the film experience, and also to have such an immersive theming experience that Universal do so well. And I came here 20 years ago as a 7-year-old to ride the rides with my family. To be back here and to be part of it is about as cool as any of the other things that we've been able to do.
Obviously, Universal has done a great job at recreating what we saw in the films. Is there any particular part of the park that really takes you back into the Wizarding World more than the others?
I think the cool bits is like Honeydukes and Zonkos, because when we saw those in the films, it was only saw the front of the set. Although when we're filming, we could actually go and have a look around. So it's cool that the audience can now go into it, and the sets aren't held up by scaffolding the other side, and there's a huge spotlight from the ceiling. It's actually an immersive environment, and to me that makes it even better than the film set. It's in one way, it's a shame that we didn't have something like this when we were filming, because you could just go into the whole film.
I have a question for Ms. Lynch. I just wanted to know the whole experience. What's your favorite part?
I think I just love getting to show it to friends because it's quite familiar to me, and I feel very safe and happy here, but I don't get as much of a thrill, and I love bringing new friends to it and seeing how giddy they get, and definitely the sweet shop as well. That makes me a kid again, and I love sugar. That's my advice. Yeah.
Hi, my question is what is you guys most all cast members? What is most favorite things they put in the theme park?
It's me. I think for me, my favourite thing would be, to be honest, just walking in and just seeing the whole world all like there in realistic. Because obviously when we were filming, it wasn't like that. It was either
Dementors on their way.
So when you walk in, you are fully immersed in it. and you're just really taken over by the whole experience. And you can walk down the street here just with a butterbeer, and that's very, very Harry Potter.
For me, it's the food that I enjoy here. Theme park food has got a reputation for being not the best food in the world, but here at the Three Broomsticks and in the Weasley world, all the food and beverage is fantastic. And it reminds me of being at home in Britain once again. So that's one of my favourite things. I'm not one for the rides personally. I don't like roller coasters. The disadvantage about the roller coaster here in the Weasley world, the Flight of the Hippogriff, is that my usual excuse is that I'm too short to ride them. And people go, oh yeah, never mind. And I go, oh, it's a shame, isn't it? But the Flight of the Hippogriff, I can ride that. I'm above the height limit for it, which is really disappointing. So if you hear someone screaming like a girl later on, it's me on the Flight of the Hippogriff. But yeah, whatever you do though, don't eat the food, then go on the rides. Do it around the other.
Hi, Patrice from Brazil here. For the Felton brothers, did the fireworks from yesterday got the Weasley approval?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think the cool thing about how the fireworks and everything worked out yesterday, in terms of making a show of it, how it all started up, it reminded me of the fifth movie when obviously there was a huge dragon firework going off, but how you saw different animals from the houses come up the side of the castle and all the fireworks afterwards. It was certainly a spectacle worthy of such a great place to open.
Well, thank you.
Having been to 4 of these Wizarding Worlds now, how do you see that these parks, these lands, might be affecting, influencing the relationship between the fan community and the Harry Potter franchise?
I think it's very interesting the way that we have experiences like this, and in turn, they will feed interest in the literature and in the films once again, in the cycle. So you might get, families coming here, especially younger children who might not have had experience of reading the books or even seeing the films, but will then fall in love with the environment and the story and the ideas, and then go away and start reading the books and watching the films. So I think that's really interesting the way that one can feed the other. And what J.K. Rowling is doing all over the world at the moment is she's starting to give us other glimpses into the Wizarding world through fantastic pieces coming later this year and the play that's opening in London. And so I think that's really exciting, and that's going to continue. And places like the Wizarding world here will be around for generations to experience and enjoy and be introduced to this wonderful creation.
I just want to add to that. I think these parks are really made with fans in mind. If you speak to the architects, there's so many details from the books that you wouldn't know unless someone points them out or sort of really put a fine comb through the books. And I think it just the fact that fans do go and they turn up in robes, just pretending they're Hogwarts students, and every now and then in the airport I will see someone wandering around in robes, and it's just like making it the norm. It's like bringing it into our world, which I think is really fun.
Following up on what Warwick said about food, I know you've talked in the last year or so about becoming an ethical vegan. I was wondering if there's any food here that you can recommend to fellow vegans.
This is where they need to, I have to say, there's progress to be made. Not really. They're very good to me, but I don't know if does it have it at all at the moment. But it's a good point. It's an issue that needs to be raised. Yeah. But I think all vegans, we always have a secret snack box. I know, but hopefully one day it won't be that way. It'll be those things.
Hi, staying on the food train, I want to know what each of your favorite sweet treats are at the parks. Like, for that's everything, flavored beans or butterbeer.
Me, butterbeer, definitely. And this park is one of only like 4 or 5 locations in the world where you can have authentic butterbeer now. I like the cold variety of butterbeer, but only one cup. I met a gentleman at the studio tour in London recently. I was at an event there. He had consumed 4 butterbeers, and he was. I've never seen that before.
And then he died.
No, he was fine. Just a very lively chap.
Anyone else?
Chocolate frogs.
I think all the purchase you can get here. James and I did our press one-on-ones with the nationwide media today. We were in Honeydukes, which is a really bad place to put us because in between each one you sneak away and try a bit of this, try a bit of that.
How did you find that?
Yeah, Tom kept popping in and just like borrowing a load of chocolate frogs and chocolate cauldrons.
Guilty as charged. Yeah.
Just wondering, the bumping here, how does it compare to the bump here on set? Is it accurate?
It's actually better here than when we were on set. They hadn't actually created a genuine butterbeer, so this is so it's kind of a mixture of all sorts what we had on set, but here's actually made for what it should be, and so I guess it is better here. Well, obviously it is, but especially like what I was saying, the cold variety, especially when it gets hot during the summer, that's when it's really going to be just that extra bit.
I'm just wondering, what is your favorite ride here, either in the Harry Potter area or in the park in general?
I think being the new ride, the Forbidden Journey, I think the thing I noticed with it here compared to Orlando is that there's a bit more in the ride itself. Obviously you've got the 3D glasses, so it's a bit more immersive, but they seem to take, when you go through different parts of it on the ride, you seem to see more in this one than the other one, so I suppose for me that's my favourite part.
The rest of you?
We're kind of biased, aren't we? I have to say.
Yeah, we're in that one, so
We have invested interest in that. It is pretty amazing what they can do with those glasses and that effects of moving so fast and yet not really moving at all. It's a credit to Thierry and all the people that put it together. Yeah, we get a lot of the credit. We're on the surface of it. We didn't really do anything.
It's got an afternoon on it.
Yeah. So it's a real blessing to be involved with something as cool as that.